The fourth lesson, the benefit of the virtue of humility. The third lesson taught us the ways to accumulate kind deeds. Naturally, it would be best if people would practice kindness. But as humans, we are social beings. It is impossible not to come in contact with others in society. Therefore, it is important to know the ways to improve our persons in dealing with others. The best way to do this is to follow the virtue of humility. A humble person in society receives support and trust from the general public. If a person understands the virtue of humility, he is the person who also understands the importance of constant self-improvement. This constant self-improvement not only includes the search for higher knowledge, but also encompasses the need to be more humane, to perform better in daily duties, and to improve communication with friends. Many benefits and rewards result from behaving with an understanding of humility. This lesson focuses on the benefits of virtue and humility proven by Liao Fan's own experiences. You will greatly benefit if you can thoroughly contemplate and understand these teachings.
In the I Ching Book of Change, the hexagram of humility stated,
"The law of heaven takes from those who are arrogant and benefits those who are humble. The law of earth will not allow those who are conceited or self-content to always remain that way, but will bring change upon them. The humble will not wither, but shall be replenished, just as flowing water fills up lower places on the ground as it passes by. The law of spirits and gods bring harm to those who are arrogant and fortune to those who are humble. Even the laws of men despise the arrogant and like the humble."
Therefore, heaven, earth, spirits, gods, and people all prefer humility over arrogance. In the I Ching Book of Change, the 64 hexagrams talk about the constant changes and interactions of heaven and earth, yin and yang. The book teaches a person how to become more humane. Every hexagram contains both good and bad outcomes. The bad outcomes of a hexagram warn people to stop doing evil and to practice kind deeds. The good outcomes of a hexagram encourages people to diligently improve themselves and strive to be better. Only the humility hexagram contains all good outcomes and no bad outcomes. The Chinese Book of History has also said,
"A person's arrogance will bring him harm, and his humbleness will bring him benefit."
I often went to take the exams accompanied by others, and every time I would meet scholars who were very poor, I noticed that before they succeeded in passing the exams and became prosperous, their faces showed such humility, peace, and harmony that I felt I could almost hold that quality in my hands. Several years ago, I took my imperial exam in Beijing. Among the 10 applicants from my village, Qing Yuding was the youngest and extremely humble. I told one of the applicants, Jin Po Fei, that this young man would definitely pass the exam this year. Jin Po Fei asked,
"How can you tell?"
I said, "Only those who are humble are qualified to receive fortune." My friend, look at the 10 of us. Is there anyone as honest, generous, and never tries to come in first as Qing Yu? Do you see anyone who's always respectful, tolerant, careful, and humble like Qing Yu? Do you see anyone like Qing Yu who, when he is insulted, does not talk back, or who, when he is slandered, does not argue? Any person who can achieve such a level of humility will receive protection from the heaven, earth, and spirits. There is no reason he will not become prosperous.
Sure enough, when the test results came out, Qing Yuding passed.
One year in Beijing, I was staying with my childhood friend Kai Zifeng. I noticed that he always carried himself in a humble way and had a kind and accommodating appearance. He was not a bit arrogant, which was an immense change from his childhood ways. Kaizi had a friend named Ji Yan Li who was straightforward and honest. Ji Yan often scolded him on his mistakes, but Kaizi always accepted the accusations calmly without talking back. I told him, just as there are signs which warn of coming misfortune, we can see that prosperity comes to those who have cultivated the cause for it. Heaven will help those whose hearts are humble. You, my friend, will definitely pass the imperial examination this year.
Later on, he indeed passed the exam.
There was a young man from Santong province named Yu Fengzhou who passed the first level of imperial examinations before he was even 20. Unfortunately, try as he might, he could not pass the succeeding exams. When his father was moved to another post in the government, Yu Feng went with him and came to greatly admire a well-known scholar in that village named Ming Wu Qian. Yu Feng brought his own essays to see this man. He had no idea that Mr. Qian would pick up his calligraphy brush and blot out his entire essay. Not only was Yu Feng not angry, he sincerely accepted all of Mr. Qian's corrections and immediately changed his paper accordingly.
A young man who could be that humble and showed such willingness to improve himself was very rare indeed. The following year, Yu Feng passed the imperial examination.